Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the Week Ahead Report. This is a report where we talk about the up-and-coming events, obviously what's happened on Friday, but talk about the themes that are involving or engulfing the markets at the moment, just so we can see if we can get some trend as to what they are actually doing. Obviously a huge night on the Dow on Friday night, and we've got July 4 holiday today, so I expect markets to revel in what happened on Friday night, but as to whether or not they're going to continue is another thing. However, the trend at the moment for equity prices is certainly up, so we've certainly got to run with it. Okay, just so we get our minds into what's occurred, let's just have a look at just a bit of an overview as to what happened last, there we go, just coming up now. What happened on Friday night. I guess the most important things here, the Dow was up 168, very firm, the S&P was up 19, the Nasdaq was up 42. The top 50 was up 27, the FTSE was up 44, the CAC was up 25, and the DAX was up 43. Close to home, the All Ords, or the futures on Psychem up 48, 4,634, and that's quite a saucy move for the local market. Having a quick look also at the currency markets. Let's just move over that. Have a look at the currency markets. Dollar index still under pressure. Dollar was quite weak, and right at this area here, we've had a couple of bounces from that high, but as you can see, it's right on major support at the moment. And that's something that we've got to keep it very close to. We've obviously seen some very, very large moves in it, and obviously a breakthrough here sends it. That's that support line which we're going to look at there. So a little bit lower, but not too much lower on that dollar. Very weak. But I think one of the interesting things before we move on to some of the other currencies is what's happening in gold and silver, because gold and silver are very weak. Just quickly on the Aussie, as you can see, broken out of that triangle. Nice move, looks to go higher from here, and that's something we talked about a little while ago. Looking at now back to gold and silver, 1487, under a lot of pressure. What we do feel is that people moving away from gold and silver and moving obviously into the equity market, and you've seen that across the board with all these things, and there you can see silver. Some area I didn't think we'd see for some time, but right on support here, and probably looking for a little bit of a low there pretty soon, but let's see how that unravels. Okay, so obviously dollar weakness. This is certainly helping the likes of the Aussie, the Euro. Interesting to see the dollar yen is actually working higher. Dollar yen obviously under the back of the Euro yen, and also probably the Swiss yen. You can see that weakness there, and you're seeing that dollar yen just gravitate to the top side. So quite positive on that front there. Okay, let's have a look at some of the others. Crude behaving nicely. Obviously, people getting a little bit of upbeat in terms of what's happening. Just about to break out to the top side. 95, 40, 50 is where we want it to see on the top if that breaks. So stick with that one. Copper's also going up. It is interesting that the market is, some of those commodities are behaving like weak dollar trades. Others aren't. We did get that data out of China on Friday, and it's worthwhile looking because it seems the policies there seem to be playing quite nicely. The PMA was actually down to 50.9. In May it was 52, sorry. That's in June it was 50.9, in May it was 52. So that was lower. Growth in new orders and export orders all eased, still showing growth though. And factory prices were up, but at a slower rate. That's also giving us a positive view that things are perhaps not as bad as what people expected. And in fact that slowdown is actually working. So that's probably encouraging, I think, a lot of people back into the equity markets across the board. China does represent a bubble, is what people can see, but if their prices are coming back into line, then perhaps it's not too bad of a concern or something that we first thought. I'm of the believer that it will be controlled to some certain extent. Okay, let's have a look at the local market. Up 48, 1%, 4,634, and as you can see, it's broken that trend line from that high of 5,000. And from that you can see any pullback would be well supported. So good divergence here as well, and that divergence once again has shown the path in terms of a reasonable trade. Good bounce from there, and onwards and upwards through those levels. So quite happy on that front. Having a quick look at just some of the corns and the wheats. Obviously still a little bit under pressure there, but holding ground. Very important support here at 606 or 600 for corn, and for wheat. Obviously we're down again, 610 here, but try to look to the forward dates there a little bit, because once again we're on good support, and I would like to think we've got close to a little bit of a low there. Soybeans the same, up just a fraction, 13.14, but holding on to these areas of support. So just stick with it. It is nice and interesting to note that although the dollar is very weak, we're not seeing those weak dollar trades, weak dollar long commodity trades going on, and I think that's quite an interesting thing at the moment. Just one of those things we've got to deal with, but I certainly feel that the market has just lagged a little bit, just due to the fundamentals, small fundamentals in the areas, and people aren't putting on the overall trade. So quite interesting. Okay, let's now look at the week ahead in terms of economic numbers. And I guess today in Australia you've got TD Securities inflation, commodity prices, TD Securities inflation month on month and year on year. Also got job advertisements, building approvals, etc., retail sales. And as you go through the world, not a lot. Remember, it's July 4 holiday in the States at the moment, so don't expect anything too flash tonight. In fact, our market will probably trade by itself. Okay, RBA cash rate is the most important thing for Australia on Tuesday. Expect rates to remain unchanged. I am looking for that rhetoric there to suggest that they will be on hold for some time to come. PMI and composite across Europe, so that will be interesting. Factory orders in the States on Tuesday, something obviously to be widely watched there, just for that ongoing trend. Eurozone GDP on Wednesday, and factory orders in Germany, ISM non-manufacturing composite in the States, a whole raft of data out of Japan, machinery orders, probably the tier 1 data there. In Australia, most important, obviously Thursday, we've got the unemployment rate and participation rate. The employment rate is meant to be steady at 4.9% and participation rate at 65.6. Apart from that, IP, bit of data there, and in the States, a little bit there in terms of Fed doing a bit of chatting. On Friday, the 8th of July, I guess the most important stuff here is the big data here, which is the change in non-farm payrolls, unemployment rate in the States. The market will clearly look at this as signs that things are improving. Obviously, it's been factored into the equity. Just keep an eye. Volumes are low, so this market's been moved on little volume, so that to me represents a worry. So just be pretty close on that. So if anything, buy the rumour, sell the fact. Expect markets to be relatively firm leading into this. As you can see, all the numbers look bullish. 85k non-farm payrolls, 115, changing on manufacturing, all meant to be good bullish data. So let's see how that unfolds, and I think it'll be more a buy the rumour, sell the fact type of scenario. Okay, well that's pretty much about it for the week ahead report. Hope everyone has a good week, and stick close to the tweets and the Facebook for any changing trends. Obviously, we've got a couple of trades on, long gold and silver. Long silver. Aussie we took profit on, which was nice, and we're still long some of those grains. We actually rolled the position over to December in wheat, and December actually is holding up quite nicely. Well, that's about it from me. Have a good week. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.